Hi, welcome back to channel TrainStation 2. Alright, the second competition has started. Have been you doing, but for me it's a bit of struggle in order to climb to the top 5, and of course manage eventually at the end of this video we achieve second, but I believe just is temporarily because competitors as usual is really strong, although we have really started late, but I think these are really one of the toughest competitors you can get. Very constant in the game, and of course really fast in getting those EP jobs completed. So all I believe boils down to the fact of the train capacity, the number of dispatches, and a large warehouse. So these are the really critical things that you got to get it done in order to get competition wins. So as usual, the 100 keys will only get in common or at times rare, right? So epic and legendaries are none to be seen, but that's actually how it works. So if you actually have a epic or so-called the legendary train, I think you're really lucky. So really appreciate those chances where you can get them. So make sure you get your factories always working so they can keep on producing. But at the start, I think it's, yes, I do understand it's a bit difficult because generally the warehouse are all full, factory are all full. So normally at the start of the competition, I will try to keep on delivering for 2 or 3 rounds before I start to gather resources again, because there's no way we can have gathered new resources because the factories are all filled to the brim. So that's also one thing that you could bear in mind. But a lot of things depends on luck. Sometimes, you know, they may request for items that you do not have, so that's also another issue there. Alright, you can see a lot of this new buildings springing up across the whole map itself. It's getting more interesting. At the end of this video, I will be telling you that I've reached about 55% complete. Yes, you hear me right. At the start of the second competition, we are already 55% complete. I'll be rushing to complete 100% because I believe in this event, getting 100% completion as soon as possible is the most advantageous. Do not use the 99% strategy, it doesn't work here. So at times, you're really lucky, you may get first, but again, like I said, this is just a start, okay? So things are getting worse as people keep on pressing through using gems, and eventually, you know, being a gem poor player, I couldn't afford to fight using gems at all. So it's really important. I mean, if you are Android player, you play those affiliated games, you can get a few 100,000 or even 1,000 of gems. You may then be a winner. But again, that's how most of the players played, but unfortunately being an Apple player, we couldn't do that. So if you're starting the game and you have an Android device, go ahead and do that, and then you know, yeah, it will be really advantageous in playing this game, because there's this unfair disadvantage to Apple players, but unfair advantage to the Android players in this context. Never expect affiliated games to giving few 100 to 1,000 over gems to players who play affiliated games. Okay, so I think that is not really a very good in a way planning for Pixel Federation, because from a revenue perspective, they are losing revenue. And in terms of fairness, it's really unfair to this Apple players like us. No matter how hard we struggle, people burn gems through, and we just drop in ranks. So a lot of psyched strategy you gotta apply, like starting late. If really you are fighting a very close match at the end of the whole competition, you know that I've applied so-called a 7-second rule. Use the 7-second rule at the last 7 seconds. Then you deploy also called collect the EP. Either you have standby EP to be collected at the last moment, or you burn gems at the last moment, at the last 7 seconds, because that is the moment where people can't react upon seeing your EP climbing, and they don't have enough time to react. If you start too early, like more than 10 seconds before, people can immediately react to it, okay? Because everybody have that in mind. Alright, so now we are getting an epic. As I mentioned, it's really great, great to have an epic train sometimes. So be appreciative of that. All right. So it's really important. We get more and more of this good trains, epic trains, legendary trains because of their high capacity. At times, you are hit with just a single restriction. It's just like Region 7 trains that you hit the jackpot, because at the start, epic trains already have child capacity, so much better, about 3 times better than your common number 4 capacity. So this is something you gotta bear in mind. Getting epic parts and gold parts are really tough. So do bear in mind all this. Something you can look forward to. I mean, common parts and rare parts are still alright. So it's just that epic parts and gold parts are the ones that you should be changing if you have spare event commodity, or you call it currency, be it the coins or the so-called keys itself. So just bear in mind, the coins is, I believe, is for mega box. You can't choose, but whereas the keys you can. So make sure you choose those legendary and epic parts if you're changing them. So in this event, the experience is that the EP seems to be on the high side, probably because as you progress further, EP return seems to be higher. So it will be a disadvantage for people who are still at the low percentage of the event completion, because it just means that people at a higher completion rate, the faster they go, they may be striking for what, 50 plus EP, while you are struggling like me, 30 plus EP. So this is something you gotta bear in mind. Of course, really interesting to find out that actually Pixel Federation for once is coming up with a new event and putting in quite a number of efforts to have 3 building selection for you. In the past, it's always a particular building or whatever they are building is really fixated, and you just keep on building that building, right? So for now, it's different. There's always a choice. So I think it will be quite delightful at the end of the whole event to take a look at your whole map of what you have built so far. And interesting part is that everybody is different, so you may actually see your maps and my map is totally different because of the choice of building that we have chosen. So this is quite interesting. Okay, all right, so you can see here dropping in ranks already, dropped to 3rd. I think it is expected. I said competitors are tough, and also the fact of the matter we don't have gems. So even if I had 90 plus gems, I wouldn't be spending. Normally, if I spend gems, it's only at the last moment, unless it's really necessary. Like for example, I'm stuck with all 3 jobs I can't do. Probably I need to expedite one of the jobs in order to get it done, or expedite in items to be completed or something like that. Then I'll spend those gems of emergency purpose and not for a plain fast every time get things done. Because if you have maybe 10,000 gems, that's a different story, but if you have only 90 plus gems, it's very different. You use it very carefully. Alright, so we are probably still a very long event to go. Sometimes it's quite draining, especially this competition, which is like 3 days. It is really tiring because it's a constant intense fight, and you know, sometimes you really got to do it every hourly. Sleeping patterns will change slightly because of this game, you know. I'm not too sure about you, but it's not really healthy. So whether you want to go on that route, or you want to play it enjoyably by not fighting competitions, just do your own thing, and then from the competitions just gain a bit of parts, I think that's perfectly fine as well. So it depends on what you want and how you want to play this game. So for me, it's really trying my best to get what I want, which is all the event trains as usual. But if not, minimally we'll try to get the 2 legendaries. That's why it's important for me to fight the competition, because one of it is through those event coins. And if you don't win in the top 5, it is very difficult at the end of 6 competitions. There's a low chance of getting that 1000 event coins train. I've hit once, I think 950. I think that's really tough. So it's really important. Consistency is important, and of course time spent. But if you think of the way, spending time in this game is really like every hour, a couple of minutes. That could be one way of thinking, rather than you keep on playing. So that's one way to manage it, but it's just that it's quite tiring to wait for an hour. Or if you could think another way around, if this game actually has delivery for 4 hours instead. So that would actually save us some time, but probably the whole gameplay will be different. So it need not every hour you lock in a game, but only every 4 hours you do so. So that would be another interesting concept. But of course, as a developer or the game developer, they wouldn't want to do that, right? So they want you to constantly in the game. Alright, we managed to level up to 418 and get a bit of small rewards, be it the gems or the keys itself. But as I said, keys is always insufficient. Always waiting for 100 and quickly want to just do it to spend it, but probably I'm going to save a bit at a midpoint, like 450, so that we can plan for the next region. Alright, thank you for watching and good luck for this competition. Goodbye.